Alright, guys, we are waiting. Alright, people, what's going on? Good evening. We are here again. How you guys doing? How you been? How was your Monday and your Tuesday as well? Me, I worked a lot. Today I had a few classes. Actually, I had a bunch of classes, a bunch of lessons to take, and was a tough day, but I enjoyed a lot. I sunbathed for a bit. I enjoyed my cat company as well. We played around a little bit. She's healing from a broken leg, and today was freezing actually. Right? Hello, good evening, Taina. What's up, Kayo? It's been a while, man. What's going on? What's going on? How are you, Taina? What's popping, guys? How you been? Right. So we're gonna wait like the traditional 5 initial minutes so people can get in. So let's talk a bit. Let's chat. So I think our last lesson we talked about job interview. Actually, let's talk about the lesson subject after those 5 minutes. So what have you guys been up to? What have you guys been doing actually? So me, I bought a new book. It's really cold, the minis. Yeah. So how are you doing? Good evening. I bought a new book. It's called The Blue Ocean Strategy. Actually, last week I got done Outwitting the Devil. I don't know if you have before. And I'm reflecting upon the idea of buying a Kindle. I don't know if you guys have it at your house, but a Kindle is basically like a tablet or like iPad, something that you use to read books, but it's specifically for ebooks. It's very interesting because you can read with the lights off, all the lights off actually, and you can actually uh, give it more bright light if you wanted to in the background. And also, if you want to have like just a bit of light, it wouldn't bother you to fall asleep. So it's a great to actually, if you're a good reader, right? If you're a reader, I think it's actually the best tool you could ever have. Not only because in the long term, it's very cheap if you compare to books, right? Books, if you are a reader, usually you pay. I mean, the value of a book is not even close to the price, right? Price and value are different things. So price is basically like a 100 bucks, but the value itself is like intrinsic value, is what this object itself gives it to you back when you read it, right? The knowledge you acquire while you're reading a book is you can't measure that. It's just something that developed yourself as well. So, but why I was saying that? Oh yeah, about the Kindle. So I'm reflecting upon the idea of buying Kindle. I've been reading a lot. I've been reading quite like two books per month basically. I'm trying to get into like 3 books, but it's been harsh. There's no much time available to it, but I'm managing to read. Let me check how many people we've got today. We've got 6 people watching. So let me check you guys, if you guys are with me or following me along. What have you guys been up to? What have you guys been up to? Are you guys watching any series sort of it? I've been watching The Night Manager. It's a great series. The first episode, not that much, but it's still like some series you've got to keep pushing it. Watch the first episode and give it a chance again. Maybe watch until the third episode, and then the series will start to bite, like getting really really good. Mad Men. So I've watched Mad Men until the 5th episode, I guess. But it's very, very interesting. Mad Men. Mad Men is about is about copywriting, advertising in the latest 80s, 90s or so. And it's very interesting how you can understand the roots of marketing, isn't it? Uh, Taina, you watch it, call it Grace and Frankie. It's really funny. Yeah, it must be. I don't know if I ever watch it, Grace and Frankie. I'm not sure. Maybe it's that series about a chubby girl, isn't it? Like a chubby couple, isn't it? I don't recall now, but it rings a bell. Now, Kaio, I didn't watch it, just read. Yeah. All right. All right, guys. So, today we've got 5 people watching. That's all right. So, if you could please share with me whenever you can. Now, our last lesson we were talking about job interview. Yeah, it's about 2 older women. All right. Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely not the one that I was talking to. Completely mistaken, but that's all right. Now, last lesson we were talking about job interview. So we got into how you could actually be in a job interview, how you could actually act. So we said it like clear, simple, persuasive, right? You want to talk the interviewer into buying you, right? Basically like buying you. So you want to persuade the person, right? So we dive into as well some positive personality traits, which means like some good skills that you've got. So being outgoing, being friendly, being a team worker, being a hard worker, creative, handling pressure, being organized, sharp, having a strong ethic, so being focused, resilient as well, a great communicator. So we've got a bunch of different traits. Now, today we are going to dive into some situations that you might face in a job interview, and also we are debating and I'll clarify a few job collocations. Now, guys, collocations basically are words that come together, right? So what I mean by that, they were naturally born and changed with the language. So what I mean by that, let me give you an example. So, for instance, we don't say collocations are words that they come together to soft up your language and to make it more clear and as more natural as possible. So let's take for instance those 2 examples right there. Okay, so just to warm up our mind a bit. Now, usually if I say to you, say the truth, you won't understand me perfectly. That's all right. But though this is not the proper way of putting this sentence, this is not natural for native speakers. And now, in the level that you are, even when you are intermediate or even a beginner, you want to learn exactly how native speakers talk so you can ease your language and make it more natural. Now, to tell the truth is way more common than say the truth. What I'm saying basically, in other words, is that this is not incorrect, right? This is all right. This is okay. That's fine. But that's not the perfect one. This one should be the perfect. This feels very natural, right? Okay. So those are exactly the subjects that we are debating today. Now, uh, first, we're gonna dive into some situational interview questions. And what I mean by that. So, situational, yeah, exactly, Dana. It's like you don't say a story, you say tell a story, right? It's the same. It's actually the same. So you want to make sure your English is more natural. It feels natural, right? You don't want to be that complicated. Sometimes we are trying to get complex and we ended up overdoing it, and we don't want that. Yeah. Now, we're gonna dive into some situational interview questions. So, in those type of questions in a job interview, you were talking about hypothetical situations. You're not talking about reality. You're not talking about past experience questions. You're talking about something that would happen. So, this is very specific, but when we are in a situational, I'm going to write it down. Situational, situational interview questions. They usually use second conditionals. I don't know if you guys remember, but second conditional is something for hypothesis. So if I say to you, let's say for instance, if I were you, I would study English a lot. If I were her, I would live abroad. If they were my parents, I would treat them nicely. Again, we're using second conditional, right? Which means this is like peace and love. So, just kidding, guys. So, when you are like a second conditional, you have to use would, right? I don't know if you guys, it rings a bell, and simple past, right? You can make questions like that, and you would answer questions using those two key aspects as well. So, let's take, for instance, a very common situational question in an interview would be if you heard someone making a racist joke in the office, what would you do if you heard? If you heard, right? So simple past plus would. So let me just write it down. I'll jot it down so it will be easier for you. So let's imagine if you heard someone, right? I'm gonna put it just a short words because otherwise it's gonna take a lot of time. Making a racist joke. What would you do? So look, if you heard. If you notice, this is a situational question, which means we are using simple past. So, simple past and would, which is a modal verb, right? Modal verb, which implies to a second conditional. Perfect. Very good. So, guys, chat with me. I would like you to reply to my situational questions, right? So we can actually keep it up and see if you guys are understanding me and know how to use the language. Now, all right, we've got 8 people watching it. So this is very key now. It's crucial because I want to see this is like second conditional putting into practice. So sometimes I feel like some students, they feel like, oh my, but why I'm learning grammar, Rafa? Why am I supposed to learn this? Right, so this is like grammar being carried out on daily basis. Okay, so second conditionals for interviews, right? So tell me, guys, I'm gonna wait for you to type in the chat. What would you do if you heard someone making a racist joke? What would you do if you heard someone making a racist joke? What would you do? So that's supposed to be second conditional. What would you do? Taina, she said, if I saw someone telling a racist joke, I would tell my boss because in our firm, we don't tolerate that. Yeah, that's true. I would do exactly the same. I would tell, what about, and if it was your boss, the one? who was making racist joke. Now we've got a very complicated situation, yeah? Right? Now, racist joke is work harassment. I don't know if you guys ever heard about that, but we're talking about harassment. Harassment is kind of like bullying at work. So you could have like a racist harassment, you could have sexist harassment as well, sexual harassment. You could be like in different positions as well. If somebody's under you and you try to blackmail them into or things like that, that's supposed to be a harassment as well, right? You're trying to use a power in order to achieve what you want. Now, how about this question as well? What would you do? So, what would you do if you knew your boss was absolutely wrong about an important project? Okay, so look, again, this is a situational question, actually a very common one, and they want to usually interviews in a job interview, they try to put it to you in a pickle. For those who don't know, in a pickle is a situation where you are between two really hard decisions. So you have to make the right choice. And when you are in the pickle, sometimes you have to live it out something. And like it could have been worse. So again, look this question. What would you do if you knew your boss, sorry, it's supposed to be a boss here, your boss was absolutely wrong about an important project? Okay, so what would, so modal verb, okay, guys, and you, simple past. Look, what would you do if you knew? So second conditional. Again, we're talking about situational questions, right? Okay, so far so good until now, guys. Are you following me along? Nobody's chatting. I want to know if you guys are actually following me along. Let me know if you guys are understanding everything. When you guys stop chat, I feel like I don't know if you guys are. Hey, Luisa, good evening. You were at the live yesterday, right? I recall you. Okay, let's go. Another question that is very, very common. If you found, hey Juan, what's going on? Good evening, my friend. So guys, if you found out an employee was stealing from your business, what would you do? If I knew my boss was wrong about a project, I would find the best way to tell them my opinion and why I think it's the more appropriate one. Awesome. Yeah, that's a way to go. You actually deal with your boss in your work environment. You don't want to sound cocky, right? You want to be very, very polite and soft on your speak as well. So people don't get you wrong. and you know, very friendly, easygoing as well. Sometimes some people, they don't take in critics easily, so you might be like a, you know, very soft on your language. All right, perfect. Another situational question. If you found out an employee was stealing from your business, what would you do? All right, guys. So if I found out an employee, so look, again, we're talking about past again, and modal verb. Right, so this implies to second conditional. Look, again, guys, so if you found out, so past, an employee was stealing, we carry on with the past because we're still talking the first sentence. From your business, what would you do? So this is modal verb, would. Right? So this implies to second conditional. Okay? So what would you do? What would you do if you found out somebody was stealing from you? If I knew a friend, so Dana said, if I knew a friend was stealing from me, first I would talk to him to ask him what's going on. Yeah, I think this is the best go about that you could actually possibly have. Go about means approach. The very best approach. Yeah. So definitely, if I knew somebody was stealing from me, I think I would first talk, have like a very open and very open conversation, like just telling the truth, asking for them what's going on, asking to my friend like what's happening, do you need some money, you know, like what you've been up to, what's going on. Maybe they need money, they're broke, you know, exactly what the reasons to people to steal, right? I've seen it, like people stealing from a bunch of different reasons. It could be they are starving, they don't have money, they just like to steal. Like I know some people, they are kind of like they are doing shoplifting. So you know, when you shoplift, it's like you feel like you need to steal, but it's not like you really need in terms of money, monetary. Yeah. Now, uh, let's go. Let's go to the last question. How about if you found out? So again, let's keep this one. If you found out your company was doing. Hey Douglas, good evening. Good evening, my friend. Was doing something against the law. All right? What would you do? How about this question right there? This is a terrible situational question. So if you found out your company was doing something against the law, so simple past again, past continuous, and would, which is a modal verb, and second conditional. Thank you, Douglas. Yeah, love you too. All right. So again, guys, look, if you found out, so simple past, second conditional, your company was doing something against the law, what would you do? So look, simple past, past continuous, and then would is a modal verb. So it's a second conditional, right? This is practice. This is basically daily basis. Yeah, so Taina said I would. Oh, guys, sorry, just a minute. I've got a heater right here. You see, this is a heater. It's like to warm my legs because it's extremely freezing, but my legs got too warmed actually. So, Diana said, I would research about what I could do to stop them because the situation is really complicated. Yeah, I don't know if I would uh, blow them off. To blow somebody off is like a whistleblower, is to tell, is to say, actually, to tell the government that what they are doing it. I wouldn't feel comfortable working there anymore, but I don't think I would take any legal action against it. Yeah, that's pretty much. Maybe I would do something like that actually. I wouldn't whistleblow them, but I wouldn't work for them anymore. It's just a matter of principles, right, fellows? If you guys are not on the same page, it's very hard to work with someone. It's like drug dealing. It's like selling arms, guns, right? Arms not, sorry, guns. Arms is like army, right? Now, hello, Graziani. Hey, what's going on? Good evening. How you've been? You won our last lesson, won't you? I would research about what I could propose to show him the best solution. Yeah, definitely, definitely. All right, guys. A lot of different solutions, right? So now we're gonna deep dive into collocations. I don't know if you guys ever study collocations, but collocations are words that come together. They come together. Like I said in the beginning of the lesson, you don't say the truth. Usually we say to tell the truth. To tell the truth. You actually don't say as well, tell a story. Say a story or talk a story. You say tell a story. So now, for this lesson, I specially made collocations related to work environment. Okay, so the first one that we have is a demanding job. A demanding job, right? First, we're gonna deep dive into some job collocations, so words that come together with job, and then we're gonna talk a bit about work collocations. So Juan Pablo said the company hardly have do something against the law, but people that work in these companies do. So, and generally, our company has a telephone service for complaint situations. I would do a report. Yeah, it's a great decision actually to be made. To do a report, to biff about, to complaint as well. Maybe it's worthwhile. Maybe perhaps it's not. We never know, right? So for job, we've got a few collocations right there. So let's go. So, all right. So the first one is a demanding job. Do you guys know what's the meaning of demanding job? A demanding job. Have you guys ever heard this? So, a demanding job means a job that demands a lot of effort. You've got to put yourself aside and work first. Your personal issues, your social life is aside, and it demands a lot of you. It could be like being busy, working for hours, or just having a heavy workload. It really could be both of these two options, right? Now, another another collocation that we've got for job is to apply for a job, or to apply for, sorry, it's missing for to apply for a job interview. We don't say to apply for work. It sounds weird, right? It sounds very weird. I can understand you, but again, this is collocation. So usually we say to apply for a job. It's easier. Work is usually uncountable, right? Job is something that is countable. Okay. Now, another one that we've got is a fulfilling job. A fulfilling job. Have you guys heard about this word right there? Fulfillment. It comes from fulfillment. Fulfillment is basically a sensation where you feel like you accomplished all your goals, and you feel like you've done everything you could in order to achieve what you got today, and you feel like you're thankful, you're grateful for what you got. So let's imagine you are 20 years old and you were thinking about the future, and then 10 years later you got millionaire, multi-millionaire, and you are at the beach enjoying a nice glass of champagne, and you're just heated by a fulfillment feeling where you feel grateful for your journey, right? Now, this was kind of like a motivation speech, I know, guys, but this is the way fulfillment works. We don't have a word for that in Portuguese, unfortunately. All right, let's carry on. Now, a few other more collocations. So let me just write it down. A higher powered job, exciting job, you could say. A steady job, you could say a permanent job, and to offer someone a job. Okay, so let me show you like this. So the first collocation we've got is a high powered job, which means a job that is very important. It's very crucial. It could be being a president. It could be a government. It could be a politician. It could be running a business. It could be something that is really, really essential somehow. Yeah. Now, an exciting job is something that moves you and drives you towards something else, right? So an exciting job is when you're willing to go to your work every day. You're willing to do the tasks you are asked for it. You are very much, you wake up, you don't feel like boring or annoying or annoyed. You don't feel bored or annoyed. You just want to work and work and work. You're very passionate about it. It's exciting. It's exciting. Yeah. Now, a steady job, we're talking about stability right there. Now, stability in English is not exactly in terms of being stable. It's more like in terms of not being uneven. Now, a steady job is something like it's secure, it's safe. It's kind of like safe for you. You're not going to get fired. And the same is apply for permanent job. You've got a permanent job, right? Now, we don't say to offer someone work, to offer someone work. It sounds weird. That's the whole idea of collocations, is to sound way more natural as much as you can. Now, you say to offer someone a job, right? Never to offer someone work. it sounds weird. It sounds strange to my ears, at least. It sounds like it's not proper. Yeah. Now, perfect. Are you guys following me? So what you guys said, Douglas, if I knew that the employee was stealing the company, I could call him to conversation to talk about the problem. Yeah. Guys, this is a really hard situation when you feel like in the past I had a maid who was stealing from my house. She stole uh, a few knives and a few forks as well, cutlery in general, and was a really embarrassing situation. Was very embarrassing, and I couldn't like tell was her. She knew it was her, but I couldn't like say, "Look, it's you." Pointed her out and say, "Look, you have to replace that cutlery you stole it." But it's a very complex situation. It's delicate. It's delicate. Definitely delicate. All right. Now, we're gonna dive into some work collocations, right? So let me just put in a few of them. So the first one is to carry out work. To carry out. This is a phrasal verb. Then we have to take on work. Then to supervise. Okay. To be available to start working, to complete work, and we've got a few more which are all right. So the first one is to carry out is, let me show you. So the first one, oh, just a minute, guys. I forgot to add, so I put it like work right here. Yeah. Just a minute. All right. So let me show you. Okay. So to carry out work means to put into practice. Okay, so to put into practice work, you have to carry out, you have to put into practice. Usually we say to carry out a plan, to carry out a project as well. So we always talking about carry out, to carry out. Right. Now the next one is to take on work, which means to take on responsibility. Right. This is very important. So you're taking new responsibilities as regarding your work. Okay. Now to supervising work, we could actually say to oversee as well, which means to supervise what your employees or people that have that are in a lower position or under you. You have to check their work. Okay. Now to be available. Let me just to be available to start working. To start working. To be available to start working, which means like I'm available to it. If you hired me, I'm available to start working. Yeah. Now, to complete work is like to finish the work, to get it done. When you've got headlines, deadlines, right? Deadlines, actually, not headlines, deadlines. You've got to get it done. Okay. Until now, all good. Now, we've seen it job and we've seen it work. And the last one, it's supposed to be career. Now, you might be listen, like Korea, it sounds like Korea, like the country. No, this is the way we're pronounced. In a British accent, we say Korea, but for American people, you could say career, right? So career for American people and Korea, British people. Okay, British and English people, I'm not going to dive into this discussion, right? Some people might prefer to have a British accent, some other people might prefer to have an American accent. It really depends on how you've been learning English as well. So just chill out. Right. Now, guys, are you following me? Are you following me? This is our last subject, actually. So the last one are collocations related to career or career. Okay, it really it really is up to you to say. So we've got a promising career. We've got also to climb the career ladder, right? Then we have the peak of your career, okay? Now, to ruin someone's career, okay? To embark on a new career. Okay, guys, I'm gonna show you this. I'm just writing down so it's easier for you. On a career. Okay. Then a brilliant career. And when a career takes off. So, career, peak of your career, to embark on a career, and when a career takes off. All right, so the last collocation that we've seen in work and we've seen a job is career, related to your career. So career is your long-term journey of your work, of your job. Yeah. So we've got a promising career. So a promising career is when someone is starting fresh, which means usually that someone who is new, yeah, who is a young person, not new, or could be in a new position and has a promising career in a company. Usually we're talking about young people or new positions as well. Okay, so promising career, which means you've got skills yourself and people are looking at you like in the future you're going to be in a higher position. Yeah, so far so good. Her acting career is taking off. Yeah, that's right. So another one we've got with to climb the career ladder. Now, what the heck is ladder, Rafa? Ladder is another word for stairs. Now, we've got the normal stairs, right? Where you like that. Now, a ladder is like you put it on stairs, like that type of stairs that you just support on a wall or in a place like that. You can move it around. So it's a ladder, right? It's like when you're moving very fast on your career. Now, the peak of your career, of someone's career, is when you reach the peak of it, the highest point of it. Yeah, perfect, I know. He has a promising career because he's 23 years old and already owns a company. Perfect, this is a promising career. Yeah. Now, the peak of your career is like you reach the peak, the maximum, right? You're on top of it, on top of the world. So the peak of your career. We could actually use the peak now for the coronavirus. You could say we reached the peak of infection. So we got like when people are most infected. Now another one, which is to ruin someone's career. This is really mean. Is when something happens and ruins someone's career, or somebody could actually ruins your career as well. It's like something really mean and something bad to do. You wouldn't like to have your career ruined. This means like maybe you have to change your niche, you have to take up new opportunities, take on new jobs, right? Jobs opportunity. She has a promising career because she studied abroad. Perfect. That's perfect. And usually that's the reality. So if you want to have a promising career, make sure you guys know how to speak English. This is key if you want to have a promising career. I've got students of myself that they are like directors and they got into that position because the last thing that they had to compete was like English, and they got a better English, so they got into that position due to that. Yeah. Now, another very common one is to embark on a career. When you embark on a career, it's like you're taking up a new job opportunity or something else, something different that you are used to doing it. Yeah. Now, the last one as well is to a brilliant career. So brilliant career means like an outstanding career, something that uh, is bright. People enjoy it, watching it. People love it. It's a brilliant career. You've been doing so much well. It's like so a promising career ends up in a brilliant career. And when a career takes off, imagine a plane. A plane usually takes off, right? So it's like landing, like really here in the land, right? In the catwalk, and then it starts to take off, right? Start taking off. The same is applied for career. When your career is taking off, it means like you're moving, you're taking you're climbing the career ladder. You're kind of like, just fly, man, just take off. So if I had to put this into a sequence, like not in a scale, but how can I say that? On into scale, like in a time lapse thing, right? In a spectrum, I would say first, you've got yourself a promising career because you're very clever. So first your career takes off, then you've got a promising career, then you climb the career ladder, okay? Then you reach the peak of your career. All right, so we're talking about steps right there. Then you've got yourself a brilliant career. Okay, so those are all career collocations. Don't confuse. You're never going to say your work takes off, your job takes off. That's very weird. It doesn't sound good to my ears. And to ruin someone's job, to ruin someone's work, it doesn't feel right. It's like a brilliant job. It's weird. Yeah. So the peak of the political career is the country's presidency. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. He ruined her career when he fired her. Since then, she hasn't found anywhere to work. Yeah, that's terrible. I wouldn't want someone to ruin my career. I would be very pissed at them. All right, all right. So, guys, that was it. The peak of their careers was the coronavirus pandemic because they sell masks. Perfect. All right, guys. So I think it's all clear, isn't it? We've got like a very nice and high level content for you guys to study a bit. If I were you, I would revise this video. I would watch it over again. It's very important to you guys to take in and sink in some knowledge so you can actually understand everything. Please let me know what you guys want to talk about in the next live, next lesson. I would love you guys to talk to our support to see exactly what's the subject you guys wanted to clarify. Okay, so make sure you talk to us about that. Thank you for today's lesson. Just one thing, do you guys remember we've got our code? If you enjoyed this lesson, just hit me, right? Did you guys enjoy the lesson? Let me give me a punch if you enjoyed. Yeah, Louisa, that's it. That's it. Yeah, all right. So today we've got a few people here, 10 people actually. I hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. It was very specific. Please let me know if you like it. Give me that punch. And next week, please let us know what you guys want to break into pieces and talk about it. Don't forget to do the quiz after our lesson so you can carry out what you just learned. And don't forget to like this video as well, to follow me on my pages, dot shark half on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and everything else, and to follow chat class content as well on Instagram. Yeah. So thank you again, guys. I truly appreciated your company, and have a great evening. Enjoy yourselves this week, and I'll see you next week. On Monday, we're gonna have live as well. So on Monday is like a more for intermediate level, but you can actually learn from the lesson every time you're learning something. So if you got yourself this opportunity, be there and I'll help you out as much as I can, right? So thank you guys. Bye bye. Enjoy your evening and take care. See you next week.